Hi everyone, in this video let's look at how we can take a simple 3-chord minor blues and by blending lead and rhythm turn it into something beautiful. Now this is something I've been playing around with as kind of a solo guitar piece. It's based around concepts I've mostly already shown in other videos, but I thought it'd be cool to share this with you so you can see how they all come together. And I'm not going to go through it note by note because you've got the tab there on the video, but rather focus in on the different techniques and really my thinking and how I would approach something like this. Now, I've done it in such a way that it doesn't need a backing track, but I thought it sounded cool with one, so if you want that, you can download it on my Patreon page along with a PDF of the tab. Anyway, let's get into the breakdown. So what we've got going on here is just a repeating 3-chord pattern of G sharp minor, down to F sharp minor, and then up to C sharp minor. So this is like a 5-4-1 in the key of C sharp minor. Now this just repeats 4 times, but obviously I'm about to show you some licks and tricks so we can really bring these chords to life. The first thing I want to talk about is articulation, and when you're blending together rhythm and lead like this, it's really important that you think about the attack and volume of the different elements so that they all come together perfectly. So even in that first bar, there's quite a few things going on where I'm using palm muting to play this kind of bass lead into the first chord, so that that's kind of more in the background, and then I'm picking through a couple of notes in the chord. At other points I kind of strum through them, but quite quietly as they're not that important. They're really just filling out the harmony and the rhythm. But then you see there, when I get to the main melodic element, I'm attacking it a lot more, making sure it really sticks out. So you want to be thinking about this all the way through. Secondly then, let's talk about getting this thumb over the top to play the root note on the low E string. So what's going on here? Well, let me show you on the C sharp minor chord actually. So the thumb comes over the top, I'm at the 9th fret here for C sharp and plays this root note here, but it's also touching just slightly on the A string to help mute it. And then with the first finger, we're barring all of the top 4 strings at that same fret, which fills out the rest of the notes for a minor 7 chord. So altogether, we get C sharp minor 7. Then we can play exactly the same here, 4th fret for G sharp minor, 2nd fret for F sharp minor, back to C sharp minor. Then once you've got this, it frees up these other fingers to play melodic elements at the frets above. So all I was doing there was playing through the C sharp minor pentatonic. So if you think about the pentatonic scale in first position, then with this chord shape, on these top 4 strings, you can play all of those pentatonic notes while staying in the chord position. So throughout this piece, I'm using this technique to bring in these pentatonic notes on top of the chords. So right from the first chord there, the G sharp minor, you see there's my chord, and then I'm playing G and B strings together, hammer onto the G string, that pentatonic note there, and off again, and then land on the D string at the 6th fret for the root note there, and I've got a little pentatonic lick that fits within my chord. Same on F sharp minor, and then up to C sharp minor. There are 2 little hammer-ons on the G string, but it's all within the chords. Now let's talk about these sliding double stops. Now I really like this sound, but a lot of players get confused about where you can play these. It's actually really simple. So let's look at this on the C sharp minor and think about the C sharp minor pentatonic in first position. Now with this shape, you can always take the top two notes on the B and high E strings, play them together, slide up 2 frets and back down again. It's a really nice bright sound. Then you can do exactly the same on the G and B strings together, but this time our pentatonic notes, the G string note's going to be 1 fret back from the B string, but exactly the same, up 2 frets and back down again. And there I can combine both the 2 sets of the high E and B with the G and B. I get really nice sounds. So you saw me using this on all 3 chords. On the G sharp minor, now thinking about the G sharp minor pentatonic, I'm using the B and high E string notes together to go up 2 frets and back down, and then down to the F sharp minor and using the G and B string notes together. But a little bit of something extra special there. Instead of just going up 2 frets and back down, which you can do, that's fine. I went up 2 frets, a little flick, 1 fret higher and back, and then back down the 2 frets. It's quite tricky that, but just add something a little extra. And then up to the C sharp minor, I use both sets, so the B and high E, and then the G and B strings together. Then let's move on to look at string bending, and there's 2 things I want to cover here. Firstly, how to target chord tones, and then after, I'll show you how to add in those stings to your bends. So let's break down what I was playing over the C sharp minor chord, and what I was doing was targeting all the chord tones from that chord, so C sharp, E, G sharp, and then up to a high C sharp. Listen to this arpeggio. Now hear it in these bends. So my first bend, 12th fret of the B string, I was bending up a whole step to hit the root note of C sharp. The second bend, 11th fret of the high E, bending this D sharp up to the minor third of E, and then 14th fret on the high E, bending this F sharp up a full step to hit a G sharp, the 5th, and then 3 big bends at the 19th fret on this B note to give me the high C sharp up there. So I'm targeting all the chord tones of the chord and keeping the solo really bringing out the harmony of the piece, even though it's very much a lead section. Then you may have noticed a few bends there where I've added these little stings to them. Something like that. And all that I'm doing there is playing the bend up, but when it comes time to release, flick to the fret above and back down again quickly. Just like that. So it's a bit more interesting than just playing. Adds something a bit extra, a bit special to it. Same up there. And depending on where you play these little stings, like in that example, I'm actually getting this G natural here, which is a blue note in the key of C sharp minor. So it's adding something extra to the melody as well. Then lastly, I just want to talk about climaxing a solo and releasing off the energy. So if you think about it, the first time round, doing that kind of stuff was really just setting out the harmony in the listener's mind. And then the second time round, bringing in the sliding double stops, really upped the melodic element. And then by the third time, we were in full kind of lead mode, culminating in these 3 big bends up to the root note here. Now, this point, we're 75% of the way through the piece, and this really represents the absolute height of the energy in the solo. This is often a really good point to put that climax, because then it gives you one more time around the chords to bring the energy down and bring it to a close. So for this last time round, I'm using these same thumb over chords, but now we're 12 frets higher up here. Chromatic movement, pentatonic melody notes, pretty standard blues lick there, but then this little riff It's designed as kind of like a bass line, which is going to bring us right back to that root note to end. And then that last chord, I've just put my little finger down on the 9th of the C sharp minor there, which kind of just makes it a little bit softer, makes the listener think, oh, what was that? A nice way to end. So I really hope that was useful and you get some enjoyment from playing with these ideas. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.